We are in Atlanta. The Atlanta Hawks have exceeded all expectations. What has the energy been like around here, and what has it been like covering this young, exciting team?
It's a story, man. This weekend, there's no telling what's going to be going on, what this town's going to be like on Sunday and Saturday leading up to Sunday in Game 3 and then Tuesday with Game 4. So, man, the fact that they won that first one in Milwaukee and have done it every series so far, go on the road, and you guys know, I mean, it's not easy to do. Start a playoff series on the road and you know, beat somebody on their floor.
What a young team.
Yeah, and you look at all these guys who it's their first taste of it. Maybe they don't know any better. Maybe they don't know they're not supposed to do
But that's what we're trying to figure out. Like, what has it been of late? Because it's not only Atlanta's young core, but it's Phoenix's young core, and there's other young cores that, you know, normally the narrative of, you know, young players in the playoffs, like there hasn't been any of that this year. What can you contribute that to? Maybe big games leading up to their NBA career, or just?
It's just tough to figure because, I mean, just look at Atlanta. So you're the 5 seed. You got to open up in New York, and everybody's talking about, oh, look what Tibbs has here, and look at Julius Randle. Look at this. Is going to be very, you know, it's going to be a tough series. And then they take care of that in 5. And then you say, okay, this will be different now with Philly because Philly has been close to getting to where they want to be. And there's all this, you know, just happy to be here. This is what the Hawks should be. Now it's house money. Now it's, you know, it's a swing, you know, it's a free swing. And that's, I guess some of that is Nate's influence, Nate McMillan's influence.
Gotta be.
And that's what you have to rely on because, you know, you look at who's been there. Okay, Lou's been in a lot of playoff games. Capella's been in playoff games. Tony Snell's been in playoff games. But there's not one of these voices, you know, of a guy who's been way deep in the playoffs and knows exactly what it takes to get to this level that they can, you know, tune into. So I think Nate's influence has been great, and I'm reading what he says after these games, and it's like, look, everybody in the NBA's got talent. Every team's got talent. He said, but when you got a team that cares for each other and plays for each other and plays the right way, there's no telling where you can go with it. And man, they've been showing me something. And but you know, look, I'm talking to 2 players here. You guys know a player's mindset a lot better than I do. But when you're in there for the first time, and it doesn't look like it.
Right.
I mean, where does that come from? And it's not like, not only have we not been here, it's like we're going to relish being here, and we're not going to be satisfied with just making it. You know, so it's been a fun story to watch, man.
And Nate was tough-minded, so if you know anything about Nate McMillan, how he played the game, you know this team is playing just like him as a player because he was one of a great defender, real tough-minded guy, and I think that's kind of transferring over to those young guys.
Yeah, you know what's crazy too? When you look at the Hawks, and they do all this on the road, and most of Trey's big games have come
on the road.
This is a team that last year, when they didn't even go to the bubble. They won 6 games on the road last year.
Yeah. Wow.
They've won 6 games in the playoffs on the road. I mean, you talk about a transformation, man. That's
when other teams can't buy a game on the road.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
What are your thoughts about the Hawks and the young core leading by Trae Young and John Collins? Like, we definitely surprised with everything they're doing, but these 2 young guys are really leading this team and making a name for themselves. What do you think about those 2 guys?
I think for the majority of the basketball public, you know, the diehards all know Trae, John Collins, okay? The fringe guys, you know, the people who watch
Casuals.
The casuals, and who may just tune in, oh, it's playoff time.
Right.
And Kenny, like the other night, part of our show, and I will get around to answering your question, it's just that I'm really long-winded. Part of our show is like, we realize that there are going to be eyeballs on the set that maybe haven't been there. So our producer, Jeremy Levin, the other day says, we're going to have a little Meet the Bucks and Meet the Hawks starting 5 kind of a thing. He said, we're just a little bio page on each guy. So we cranked this thing out. We did the Bucks first, and Kenny is just killing us. Why are we doing this? You think we don't know who the Greek Freak is? You think we don't know who Chris Middleton has? We're not doing this show for you. We're doing this show for the fans who are watching and may not know. And so then when you get to the Kevin Herters of the world, and Shaq says, I'm never going to call another man Red Velvet. You know, it's like he'd rather call him Opie. And so I think at that point, we're introducing some players to
world.
the public, and there's a guy like John Collins who has got this greyhound kind of a body, man. I mean, he's built, strong, jump out of the gym. He even told us the other day when we had him on the game on the post-game show, and he said something about, I have some freakish, athleticism too.
Yeah, he didn't say that. Yeah,
and he does. But you're looking at guys like this who not just talking about it, they're being about it. So you need a double-double, and you need a corner three late in the game on the other guy's floor. I mean, John Collins was huge. So yeah, they've got this good young mix. And while everybody's heard of Trey, it's the Kevin Herters, it's the John Collins, it's the Bogdan Bogdanovic, those guys who are getting it done. And everybody, you kind of sleep on Clint Capella, but he has 19 rebounds and he has 2 offensive boards in the fourth quarter.
Big put back at the end.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Gallo coming and playing his old game.
No,
on him.
no,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right, man. I mean, they got these pieces, and it's not knock your socks off kind of personnel when you look at it and say, well, let's look at this. Brooklyn has boom, 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 boom,
Right.
and Atlanta has. But when you're playing together and you're playing for each other and you're playing the right way,
Ain't no telling.